In just the past few weeks, Chinese anxiety over what is happening in Tibet has increased by many-fold. The current commander of the Western Theatre Command, under whom the entire Indo-Tibet border comes under, is known to be a Tibet specialist, mountain warfare specialist. The man who's been put in charge of the PLA specifically on the Western Front with India is another person who's supposed to be a mountain warfare expert. Wang Yi, the Chinese foreign minister, who also happens to be the chief administrator of Tibet, was in Tibet just a few days ago. The Chinese Communist Party has now held a special administrative conference in which they only discussed the fate of Tibet. The Chinese Foreign Ministry in the past 24 hours has issued a specific warning specific to India about giving support to pro-independence freedom fighters in Tibet. This is a major crisis for the Chinese. Most Tibetans do not want Chinese suzerainty. Most Tibetans recognize that autonomy for Tibet is a farce. 150 of them, monks mostly, have killed themselves, immolated themselves in just the past few years, standing up against Chinese occupation. We, for our part, in this country, have to now make fundamental decisions. The decision is, do we stand for a free Tibet or not? It's a very simple question, but with a very complicated answer. And I think Chinese aggression in the past few months should have distilled and clarified that answer for all of us. There are many operational things that we can't have a public discourse on for logical reasons. But there are some fundamental things that we need public unanimity, single voice in this country, and our position on Tibet now requires that kind of consensus. Let us have that conversation. General Shashi Asthana is joining us on the broadcast. I also have the privilege of having on the telecast with us Rinzin Choidan. She's the National Director of the Students for Free Tibet, and Lagyari Namgyal Dolkar, Member of Parliament of the Tibet Government in Exile, both joining us on the broadcast. Rinzin, if I can quickly request you to join us on the telecast and unmute yourself. While you do that, let me get in Ms. Dolkar. Ms. Dolkar, in the past 1 week, Wang Yi in Tibet, the Chinese Communist Party have held a special administrative conference on Tibet, and yesterday the Chinese Foreign Ministry has issued a warning to India about backing pro-independence groups in Tibet. How are you making of the developments, ma'am?
Heard China do that on multiple levels. We've heard China warn USA for recently coming to Taiwan. We have heard them warn recently the Czech Senate. We have heard them warn the UK, Australia, Canada, basically everyone. So this is how they play their game. And they feel that by doing so, they can intimidate a free nation by letting them know that, that they're not going to tolerate, and they will take strong step, or whatever terms that they use. I would say that it shouldn't give any reason for India to stoop down to China's motive, and that it has to hold its head up with pride like a free, democratic, strong nation.
What is the feedback that you're getting from within Tibet right now? Because after Wang Yi's visit, I'm given to understand that the Chinese intelligence crackdown and lockdown has increased in Tibet.
Absolutely. We have to understand that the level of in the police state that it has reached at the moment, it's because of the fact that Tibet, the so-called Tibetan Autonomous Region, shares the border with India, and as they try to bring in more, strict, borderline with India, what they do is try to make sure that Tibet remains in harmony, quote unquote, and this is the last thing they want, and we know that because of that we are unable to retrieve any information from Tibet. And this is what happens when one's in a police state, and China is successfully able to, bring crackdown in Tibet. However, we have known and we've seen that the determination of Tibetans inside Tibet will forever grow.
Okay, you might have heard Ms. Namgyal has been reported extensively both in the Indian and the foreign press of the young Tibetan who's died in a mine blast. Now, for operational and tactical reasons, in India, we don't discuss what the Special Frontier Force is and what it does and what constitutes it, and I'm sure you appreciate that. But what is the mood between a young population in Tibet, far removed, people such as yourself, ma'am, far removed by many decades from actually having been in Tibet, about standing up against the Chinese this time around?
You know, as far as we are from Tibet, our heart remains with Tibet, with the freedom movement of Tibet. And, you know, China would not be ever able to crack us down, our will, our determination. And being born here in this country, and many like the company leader, Nyima Tenzin, who's been martyred, we are determined to fight against China, and we are determined to protect our motherland, India, as well. So this is what we are doing as a responsible citizen of Tibet and India, by making sure that we stand up.
Ma'am, you were aware that Xi Jinping has promised to create Tibet into an impregnable fortress. What do you think he means when he says that?
Basically, he means that he's going to bring in more crackdown inside Tibet, and that, you know, he'll make sure that the CCP is stronger than ever. Basically, anyone who stands up against a CCP will face a difficult situation, will face, you know, years of sentence and torture. So he's openly declaring war against the peaceful people of Tibet.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.